Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this video, we are gonna milk Comic-Con just a little bit more. We're gonna do our top 10 for the month of the top 10 figures which were revealed at or about Comic-Con timing, which I am most excited for. It was actually a really light year for reveals this year. It was a very light Comic-Con, so this is really just, it's the best I could do. There wasn't a ton of stuff to talk about, so a few of these things were actually revealed after Comic-Con ended. At least one of them was revealed somewhere else at the same time. I think it was just an online reveal, but either way, these are the things that are coming out that were kind of shown off recently that I am most excited for. We are going to start off with an honorable mention. This is the Mattel Red Hood figure. Now, I don't particularly care for this version of Red Hood, and I think that's probably true for most people, at least relative to the other one. It's still a fine look, and that's why it's on the list. Red Hood's one of my favorite characters, and we don't have any good figures of him, really. There's like maybe 3 out there total, and they're not in typical scales, so this is kind of a good reveal. Hopefully it turns out to not be a total bag of garbage. We'll see, but so far it looks pretty decent. Coming in at number 10, we have the Storm Collectibles Terry Bogard. Now, he's from a game I haven't played. However, I love me some fighting games, and I love being able to mix and match the characters on the shelf. So, he's definitely one that I want on there. It's nice to have these different lines going against each other on the shelf, so I'm happy to have it. It looks pretty good, and I know a lot of you guys are very excited for it, so that makes me even more happy. Coming in at number 9, we have a Marvel Legends 2-pack of Havoc and Polaris. Basically, this one boils down to X-Men. Give me more X-Men. Thank you, may I have some more X-Men, please? And this is more X-Men characters. I love X-Men, and this is more of that. So hopefully they don't turn out to be too bad. Coming in at number 8, we have Dr. Doom. One of my favorite character designs, even though it's like really basic and probably not that inspired. It's one of my favorites. I don't know why, don't judge me, I like it. And I also like Dr. Doom because he's just like a pure badass evil bad guy, and I like that too. And this looks really good. A lot of people have mentioned they want the metal armor to actually look shiny and metallic, and I would agree. That's why he's farther down on the list. And also, I mentioned how wide and big his hips are relative to his chest. Almost exclusively, this guy is drawn with a huge honking chest and shoulders. Like, he's a big, mean-looking dude. It's got the wrong shape is what I'm saying. He's kind of pear-shaped. So hopefully it doesn't look as bad in person, or maybe they tweak it, but still, it does look good overall, and I'm very excited for its potential. Coming in at number 7, we have our X-Men 3-pack with Psyche, Wolverine, and Jean Grey, and basically this one makes the list because it looks like a really solid set, even though we already own 2 of the figures all 3 of the figures more or less. It does give us something we haven't had before, which is a cartoon version of Jean Grey, a really nice looking Jean Grey. We also get Cyclops in his jacket, which is very cartoon heavy. I know it's not exclusive to that, but it is a lot from that. And then we do, of course, have this new Wolverine with at least some expression on his face, so that's kind of nice. And the bone claws are kind of a cool touch, too. So all in all, it looks like a really nice set. Not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's something I think is a good thing, and that's why it's on the list. Coming in at number 6, we have Tao from Dragon Ball. Now, this just got shown, and this is a very early prototype. They haven't even revealed it anywhere publicly yet. It's going to be at some convention I've never heard of, but I like this. This is the last figure from the original Dragon Ball batch of figures, and he's basically like the original Dragon Ball villain, and it's a fun character, it's a fun story arc, and I'm really glad that they included him in that batch. And at number 5, we have NECA's Casey Jones. I grew up watching the Turtles cartoon, so this is just a really fun thing for me, but even more important than that is this reminds me a lot, because it's the same character, of the original figure, which is what I had. I was collecting action figures all the way back then as a little kid when my parents were buying them for me and my brother for our birthdays and stuff, and this is one of the earliest ones I can remember, or the original of this is. So this will just be a really fun one to get on the shelf. It'll bring back a lot of memories and just hit me right in the nostalgia, so I like that. And then the same thing goes for number 4, that is April O'Neil. This is obviously the cartoon version of April. One of the things I like about these 2 figures in particular is that they are not turtles. They're not repaints of things we already have. And I know NECA has to do that in order to make money, and I get it. And I think as far as companies go, NECA is one of the better ones as far as reusing molds. in creative ways, but it's also really, really nice to get new figures, new molds, a little bit of variety on the shelf. So this is a very good thing, I think. Casey and April, but I think April's a little bit more important because she's more of a main character. In at number 3, we have one that was also just shown off. This is the SH Figuarts M. Bison. And I think you really need M. Bison in your Street Fighter collection before it becomes a Street Fighter collection. He is just the best bad guy all around. He's pure evil and just really cool. And here's the thing though, the SH Figuarts line has been very disappointing on about half the releases. Half have been great, half have been poops. And so I'm hoping this guy's not poops. It looks like there's a very strong chance his shoulders are poops like on Akuma, but maybe not. Maybe they're gonna be okay. But I do really like him overall. I like the slender build. More of a classic Street Fighter 2 look, and so I'm very excited to finally get this guy on the shelf. Coming in at number 2, we have the Mafex Batman, which is Fat Batman, and Fat Batman's not my biggest thing. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Fat Batman. He's fine. I like Fat Batman well enough, but the reason this one makes the list is we're finally getting some comic book-based comic characters, not movie-based ones, from these import companies, and I think that's a really big deal. Basically, for the history of collecting, we've only had these domestic figures, and they know that. The companies that are making these domestic figures know that they're the only game in town, really, at least up till now. And they haven't been necessarily giving us the best products. So I think it's going to be very nice to finally get some high-end products, and also to shake things up a little bit and maybe prompt these domestic companies to start actually giving a little bit of a crap on some of the figures they make. And this actually does look like a really good figure, so other than big picture stuff, it looks kind of awesome. So I'm very excited for it in that regard too. And then lastly, coming in at number 1, we have the Strong Guy Build-A-Figure from Marvel Legends. And it's not really fair to put a Build-A-Figure on here, I guess, but it's my list, so too bad. But I really, really like Strong Guy. But here's the other thing. This is another big picture thing. We have too many of the same characters. We have too many things that use all the same parts. We have too many things that are just boring to look at. We don't have any variety. There's no fun. There's no imagination in these collections anymore. In a lot of ways, anyway. Obviously, not every single thing is like that. But a lot of these collections are just becoming bland and stale and just popcorn, and this is something that's very unique. How many figures in your collection do you have that look like this guy? None. This is going to be the only one that looks like him in any way. Whereas if you get another Captain America or another anybody, they're all the same thing over and over again. So this is exciting for me because it represents more variety and more fun and more excitement. And I think we need a lot more of that. These are toys after all. And I don't think we have enough fun and imagination and that kind of stuff. We need more of that, and this is that. So I'm very happy about this. So hopefully it turns out pretty good. So there it is, guys. That's my top 10 list. It's like I said, we're kind of scraping the barrel here because there wasn't much shown off, but I don't know. I think it's a decent enough batch of stuff. So let me know what you thought about this list, and let me know which things you saw at the convention or at other places online since then or whatever that you are more excited about. And then we can talk about it in the comment section below. So thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't, consider subscribing. I do have new videos up just about every single day, so make sure you come back for that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.